Today, on Be Something Wonderful, your wish or desire never goes unfulfilled. It's law. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Big video for you today. The question came up, and it comes up often, Tom, I've chosen my reality. I have decided what I want. I have imagined it. I have affirmed it. I've made the choice. I've assumed it. But it's not working. The law of assumption, the reality creation processes, the techniques that all those teachers talk about is not working. I've made my choice. How come I'm not living it and seeing it? This is the question, right? But I want to really make clear to you that no prayer goes unanswered. No desire goes unfulfilled. No wish goes ungranted. No assumption goes undone. It's all done. You are that I am awareness within which all realities exist, all possibilities. So the question is then, what's your predominant state of being? What's your predominant assumption? What are you seeing predominantly? What are you assuming? What are you choosing predominantly? You say, well, Tom, I wouldn't choose the life I have right now or this unwanted reality. And again, we're not saying that we're saying what's your predominant focus and awareness? Because if your predominant focus and awareness is on that unwanted reality, wanting to get rid of it, wanting to move from it, believing that nothing works and that nothing's changing, then that's what you're creating. Do you see it? It's what Neale Donald Walsch called the thought behind the thought, the sponsoring thought. Is it from love or fear? That's your only choice. Love is fulfillment. Gratitude is fulfillment. That's your essential state of being. That's your essence. So what's it coming from? Remember, no wish goes ungranted. No desire goes unfulfilled. No assumption goes undone. You wouldn't even be able to wish, desire, and assume it if it weren't already granted, fulfilled, and done. The mere fact that you can desire it, that you can choose it, that you can assume it, that you can wish for it means it must exist here and now, or not at all. And non-existence is impossible, right? Non-existence doesn't exist by its definition. So it's here. God always hears you. God always says, yes, it's law. It's the Lord of the Old Testament. It's law. No prayer goes unanswered. This is Neale Donald Walsch from Conversations with God. It's the law of being. The law of being is always on, right? It's always, quote, working. So it's not a question of working or not working. The question is, where are you? Where are you? Remember when Moses answers God, here I am. When God calls out, Moses, Moses, it's the law calling you. Where are you? Here I am. Right? What's your predominant choice? What's your predominant state of being? The sponsoring thought that Neale Donald Walsch talks about. So God speaking through Neale Donald Walsch in Conversations with God says this, and a prayer is nothing more than a fervent statement of what is so. So no prayer goes unanswered. And then he goes on to say, God, through Neale Donald Walsch, that a prayer is nothing more than a fervent statement of what is so. Because I am says so. It's who you are. In other words, the assumption of your wish is already fulfilled is reality. The assumption, hear this, of your wish already being fulfilled or already fulfilled is reality. That's the fervent state of what is so. That's the prayer. Jesus, your I am awareness, says when he resurrected Lazarus, when he went to Lazarus' tomb, he said, he prayed, right? And said, I know, Lord, I know, Father, I know you. I know that you always hear me. God always hears you, and God always says yes. So the question is not whether your wish will be granted, your desire fulfilled, or your prayer answered. God always hears you and says yes. That's not the question. What is the question? Every prayer, every thought, every statement, every feeling is creative. Hear this. Every thought, every statement, every assumption, every state of being and feeling is creative. Go to our levels of creation on the playlist where we talk about that everything's creative on some level, right? But not all of them create a 3D world manifested experience of reality. Here's the key, right? Not every thought, every assumption is answered. Every feeling, everything is answered. God always says yes, God always answers, but not all of them create a 3D manifested experience of reality. And this is what Neale Donald Walsch says. God says through Neale Donald Walsch, to the degree that it is fervently held as truth. I love this. I am the truth, right? I am the life. I am the way. I am is your truth of being. I am that. To that degree, will it be made manifest in your experience. Really powerful words from God through Neale Donald Walsch. To the degree that it's fervently held as truth. In other words, I am is the truth. I am the truth. I am the way. I am the resurrection. Right? I am the vine. I am the light. Right? To that degree will it be made manifest in your 3D experience. In other words, to the degree that you are aware of yourself as the operant power of your experience of reality as reality, to that degree will it be your manifested 3D experience. Wow. Hear it again. And to the degree that you are aware of yourself as the operant power of your experience of reality as reality, I am, to that degree, it will be your manifested 3D experience. That's powerful. Let's continue. So it's not that any of your prayers or your desires or wishes, assumptions or choices go unanswered. When you say nothing happened or nothing is happening, this is what Neale Donald Walsch says, God through Neale Donald Walsch. What has in actuality happened is that the most fervently held thought, word, or feeling has become operative. Operative. You are the operative power. It's because the most fervently held assumption or choice or focus of your awareness or word or feeling has become operative. The assumption of I am, your concept of self, that's the operant power. That's powerful. The assumption of thought behind the thought, or the choice of what you desire or who you are. The choice behind the choice. The assumption behind the assumption. The thought behind the thought. The sponsoring thought. What Neale Donald Walsch called the sponsoring thought. That's very powerful. Wow. Okay, let's continue this. So if you are praying, desiring, wishing, assuming, choosing from the awareness of lack, non-fulfillment, I am not who I desire to be, then the sponsoring thought behind your prayer, I do not have what I want and I am not that which I desire to be, that's the sponsoring thought. So that's the sponsor. Then the sponsoring thought behind that prayer is, I do not have what I want, and I am not that which I want to be. And as God says through Neale Donald Walsch, that sponsoring thought becomes your reality. So again, if you are praying, desiring, wishing, assuming, choosing from the awareness of lack, of non-fulfillment, of I am not who I desire to be, then the sponsoring thought behind your prayer, that prayer, is I do not have what I want. I am not that which I desire to be. And as Neale Donald Walsch, God through Neale Donald Walsch says, that sponsoring thought becomes your reality. There it is right there. But God goes on to say through Neale Donald Walsch that there's a sponsoring thought that overrides all of those thoughts of doubt and fear and lack. All of those above. And what is that thought? This is what Neale Donald Walsch and God say. The thought held in faith that God will grant whatever is asked without fail. That all your wishes are already fulfilled, just like Jesus at the tomb of Lazarus. I know you always hear me. But he went within Jesus, your I am awareness, and thanked the Father anyway. Right? The prayers are always answered. It's that faith. Right? That I am. Just say the word like the centurion said to Jesus. Just say the word. I am not worthy that you come under my roof, but just say the word. I am. Just declare it. And Jesus says, I have not seen that faith. Right? But God will grant whatever is asked without fail. Neil Donald Walsh. That's powerful. In other words, the highest thought is, I am God and there is no other. I am the source, one and only source of my reality, and there is no other. That's what overrides all other sponsoring thoughts or realities or choices that you're experiencing. The knowing and understanding that the request, the prayer, is not necessary. Do you see it? That with that knowing, then you know that the prayer is not even necessary. Right? That all your prayers are answered, that all your desires, all your choices are answered. Then the prayer is a prayer. Then what is the prayer then? The prayer is a prayer of thanksgiving. Like Jesus at the tomb of Lazarus. It's not a request at all, but a statement of gratitude for what is so. This is what Neil Donald Walsh says. Right? The request is not necessary. You understand now that the prayer is not even necessary, that the prayer is a prayer of thanksgiving. Not of begging, not of wanting and desiring things to change, but knowing that they are changed, that you're the change. It's not a request at all, but a statement of gratitude for what is so. It's your natural state of essence of gratitude and love is all that is. You can't be in gratitude and experience non-fulfillment at the same time. You can't be in a state of gratitude and feeling lack and stress and asking, where is it at the same time? Right? Jesus, your I am awareness. That's why he said, Father, I thank you that you have heard me. At the tomb of Lazarus, you've heard me already. I know you've heard me. And he says, and I know you always hear me. In other words, I know that all my prayers are answered, that my choice has been made, that it has been heard. So the question is, what is your sponsoring thought? What is that state? What is the thought above all thoughts? That state of absolute unconditional gratitude and love, that I'm all realities and I'm already all things I desire to be. That's it. That's really the key, that every desire, every wish, none of them ever go unfulfilled or unanswered. It's law. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on our videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful. In our membership channel, we're going to be announcing our 5th live stream at the end of this month. That announcement will come out shortly on the community board. We'll post it. Join us. If you're a member, join us for the live stream. If you're not a member, check out the link below. Creators with great love, with great light, and infinite gratitude. This is Tom Kearin here in the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.